Long-serving New Amsterdam Mayor and Town Council Health Inspector Aklu Ramsud to proceed on pre-retirement leave soon. Michael Kahn recently had an interview with him and filed this report.
It is said that the longest journey has an end, and it is no different for this man who has dedicated just over 33 years of his life serving the town of New Amsterdam.
My name is Mr. Aklu Ramsud. I was born in the East Bank of Berbice, a village called Germania Village. There attended primary school, later migrated to New Amsterdam to attend secondary school.
Like any average Guyanese, Aklu Ramsud came from humble beginnings and eventually became a well-known public figure and a servant of the municipality.
Growing up in a rural area was quite interesting in the sense that all the services that we see in an urban center is not being given there. And so you're required to do most of the stuff for yourself, and that was quite interesting and challenging. You learn to grow up in a very clean environment, you learn to take care of your environment, you learn to do things for yourself. And that, I think, is a plus, because from a very early age you learn to do things and to do things correctly. So growing up in rural areas, I think, is kind of an advantage to persons growing up in urban areas.
Of course, he had to be academically equipped from a young age with a special interest in order to be successful later in life.
Well, one of the areas that requires a lot of attention and requires that took up a lot of my time is in the area of solid waste management. And while solid waste management might sound like a simple subject matter, it requires a lot of detailed planning and executing. And so also it requires a lot of resources and requires cooperation on behalf of all stakeholders.
As a 21-year-old young adult, Ramsud stepped into a job that would define his career. But what did he do after completing high school in the early 1980s?
I went to technical school, but one of the things that I think that is responsible for my job as an environmental officer in the municipality is that even while I was attending school, I usually during school holidays, I would normally be with my mom in the market, who was a vendor. And I kind of had an attraction to the market environment. And I feel quite at home working there. I saw the advertisement and I applied. And I got through with the job and I continue to work there to present day. But I think the market environment or the environment of the municipality, I felt quite at home there. And that's one of the things that I think made me remain there, and the desire to be there and the desire to do what you do well, motivates me to stay on for those long years, and I still, have the desire for the environment.
When Ramsud accepted the job to serve the municipality, he had his expectations, but there were challenges ahead.
The challenges were not so difficult to overcome, in the sense that the municipality is a unique place to work, and being a municipality governed by councillors and mayor and stuff like that, and you had to get accustomed to that area of management, that style of management, and to attend regular meetings and to be able to contribute towards meeting. Of course, it was kind of difficult for me to interact with so many people and to be questioned by so many people.
Having served under the mayorship of 8 individuals who had their own unique way of management, Ramsud was asked what was his most successful period within the public health department.
That would have been a little difficult question, to be honest with you, because as I've said, the municipality has a special structure that has been set up. I mean, legally set up. That's governed by 2801. And so, while the mayor and the councillors have an oversight, administratively it's the town clerk, and the different piece of bylaws that governs each municipality that you have to comply with. And so I think that the mayors and the councillors that I have worked on or continue to work on, each one of them would have gotten their own special interests, their own special projects. And I think that it was a great privilege to work with these folks.
Despite many challenges, Aklu Ramsud remained in the system and eventually became the head of the Public Health Department, where he and his team were able to effect changes within the municipality.
The department, I think, continues to improve in its service delivery. We've transitioned from probably just issuing a medical, doctor issue a medical for food handlers in terms of training, in terms of certification, in terms of meat inspection, in terms of developing checklists for school inspection, for business inspection and all of that. These are some of the areas that it's not just visiting a premises now, it's taking specific information, it's getting details, it's taking samples, and stuff like that, especially in the Amsterdam water treatment network, to ensure that your work now has a scientific approach.
One of the biggest challenges Ramsud faced as a team leader and enforcer of the municipal laws was trying to please everyone, while ensuring that proper sanitation in the town remains a priority.
To not put yourself in a difficult position is to ensure that the laws are complied with. The laws are there, and that's what guides you, and that's what you use to determine or to make your decision. So at any point in time you make certain decision, it has to be in accordance with the necessary piece of legislation, bylaw that you have available. So it's never really, the manage really was never really difficult, because that's what guides you. And once you rely on that to allow you to make certain decisions, then I think that you are doing what you're supposed to do.
Being faced with daily challenges from the public, while at the same time being coerced by his superiors to continue setting high standards out in the fields, Ramsud was asked if there was ever a moment where he felt like there was a need for a career change.
Yeah, the work environment was always, every work environment has its challenges, but it has never reached to that level where I considered tendering my resignation, in the sense that it was always kind of fruitful at the end of the day, because of your interaction with the public, because of the service you provide, and because of ensuring that you do what you have to do when the day is up. So it was never that stressful that the thought of resigning was ever there.
After battling through the storms and riding the white clouds during the brighter days, Aklu Ramsud is thankful for the support of his peers and superiors.
I think I was privileged to have been in interaction with a wide cross section of the general public, various stakeholders, and I've learned a lot over those years, and that has been a great influence on my life and the decisions that I have to make. So it's basically everybody out there.
Mr. Ramsud, who is also a qualified draftsman, has taken his leadership qualities to the Lutheran Church, where he engages in preaching the gospel upon the request of his church minister. So, do we expect to see Ramsud assuming a new role as a man of the cloth?
I've always been closely in connection with the church, with the Lutheran Church, and I continue to have a very close walk in that regard. I am thinking seriously of continuing in a career of serving God and humanity in a more profound way.
As he proceeds along the journey of retirement at the ripe age of 55, he is leaving some advice for the future leader and the team of the Public Health Department.
Persons that got to realize firstly that they are public servants that have a responsibility to ensure that they provide a service, that their interaction and discussion with the general public is one of a very professional nature, and to execute your job in a very professional manner, and to ensure that you are always fair and just in your decision.
In January of this year, Mr. Aklu Ramsud received an award from the Ministry of Communities for his long and dedicated service towards the town of New Amsterdam. The management and staff of DTV8 would like to join the Mayor and Town Council in wishing Mr. Ramsud a happy and productive retirement. Michael Khan, Channel 8 News.